So it looks like Black Ops 6 Zombies has been a success, with the game having been out for what feels like a week or two already, but it's been a couple of days, 3 days, something like that, I think so anyway. But from a lot of the reviews I've seen and from this tweet I saw on Twitter, Black Ops 6 players are flocking to zombies over multiplayer after amazing reviews. I've seen countless tweets like this, people praising Black Ops 6 Zombies, so is it really that good? Now that people have got a chance to play it, the main Easter eggs have been solved, a lot of the side Easter eggs, we've messed around with the different weapons and perks, the Augment system. How does Black Ops 6 Zombies fare up to previous installments? Is it, as they say here, amazing? And well, the first thing I will say is Black Ops 6 itself is hugely popular. You can tell that by just looking at these Steam charts. There are over 300,000 players playing right now, which is the first time that number has passed 300k since 22. So this is the most popular game for a few years. That isn't the peak record, and bear in mind that this always happens near the release date of any video game. You're going to have the most number of people playing it at the start, and then that's going to drop off. So I can't imagine the player count, maybe besides from Christmas time, going over 300,000 again. That's only going to go down, and the peak record belongs to Warzone 2.0, which released back in 2022. The player count back then was almost 500,000. However, that doesn't mean Black Ops 6 isn't popular. It is, it's been successful. All modes. The campaign's got really great reviews. I haven't finished it yet, but from what I've played so far, it is really good. The multiplayer, I had a couple of games on. I wasn't too keen, to be honest, but then again, I haven't enjoyed COD MP for years and years now. I'd say since Black Ops 2, I haven't played it religiously, and Zombies, well, that is good. I think this is a good mode. This is a good iteration of Call of Duty Zombies. But is it amazing? Is it out of this world? Is it the best Call of Duty Zombies we've ever had? Well, I do want to do a final thoughts review video on it in a week or two, but just giving you my first review on how I feel about this game. The two maps, Liberty Falls and Terminus, before the game released, everybody was saying Terminus is going to be great, Liberty Falls is going to be ass, because the map looks like it's got no atmosphere, no character, no soul put into it. It doesn't look great. It's definitely for the noobs or the newer players, the people that don't really play zombies. However, when it comes to the gameplay side, I don't think there's too much of a difference between Terminus and Liberty Falls. The two maps play relatively similar. Now, of course, there's a difference in atmosphere. Terminus does have quite a bit more character than Liberty Falls, but when you're just playing either one of these maps, the gameplay of the two actually don't feel worlds apart. Liberty Falls feels like a medium to large-ish map. Terminus, even though it's described as a large map, it's actually not that big, because the playable space really is just the main island in the center. The water and the surrounding islands are really just for Easter egg quests. You're not going to play in those locations, so the main island in Terminus, where you're probably going to spend 99% of your time, doesn't feel too much bigger than Liberty Falls. Both maps have tight areas and corridors. Both maps have big open areas that you can train in. The advantage that Terminus has is a dedicated crew, and it feels a bit more zombified, but I'll be real, it doesn't feel like it has that much more character than Liberty Falls. And maybe that's a compliment to that map. There hasn't been one time where I've been playing Liberty and thought, this looks like a multiplayer map or a campaign mission. This doesn't look like a zombies map. Now, that could just be because that's what I expect from modern day zombies now. If you compare maps that we saw in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies or Vanguard Zombies, Cold War Zombies, even these two here in Black Ops 6 Zombies, to maps that we had a long time ago in the past in Black Ops 2 Zombies with Origins, Mob of the Dead, or Black Ops 3 with Shadows of Evil, The Rise and Draka, you compare the atmosphere and feel on those maps to the ones that we have on these newer games, there is no comparison. So I do think that comes into play a little bit, just because Zombies has evolved away from that, and I've gotten used to this new look that we have in Black Ops 6, to the point where I've realised that this is the new Call of Duty Zombies. This is what it's evolved to, and for what Zombies is now, these are perfectly fine. These are good Zombies maps. I didn't think I'd like Liberty Falls, but to be honest, I'd probably play it a little bit more than Terminus, just because I don't feel like I'm losing anything playing this map. It's easier to get in and play, which is really useful right now at the beginning of Zombies when you want to rank up your weapons and get XP. You don't really want to spend that time having to turn on the power or call the pack-a-punch machine to you like you do on Terminus. Liberty Falls is just easier, which as of right now, when grinding the game is super important, it's my first choice map, but there's not much difference between the two. It's either do you want to play as the dedicated cast of characters or not, and do you either want to play against the Abomination or the Amalgam. Oh, and do you want to use the Jet Gun as the wonder weapon or the Beam Smasher, which by the way, both are really good. Gameplay wise, there doesn't feel much difference between these two maps. I'd put Terminus on like a 8, maybe a 7.5, and Liberty Falls on probably a 6, maybe a 6.5. BO6 Zombies also has tons of Easter eggs. Just putting the main ones to the side for a second. The actual side Easter eggs, there's loads of them. From what I've seen so far, there's more Easter eggs on both of these maps than I've ever seen in the past. Any BO4, 3, 2, 1, I don't think I've ever seen more Easter eggs on a Zombies map than Liberty Falls and Terminus, which is great. That's something you can never complain about. And the ones we have are good. They're not just basic ones like ciphers or writing on the wall that you can visually see, but there's nothing to interact with. There's a lot of in-depth side Easter eggs in this game. And then when it comes to the main quests, yes, both of them are very short. I haven't timed myself, but I know you can definitely complete the Liberty Falls Easter egg in under half an hour because there's a Dark Ops challenge for it. The Terminus one I don't know, but I could probably do that one in 40 minutes as well. So both main quests compared to some of the ones we've had in the past are very short. They're not really super in-depth or difficult either, besides from the actual boss battles, which we'll get onto. But the main quests are good enough. And then, like I said, the boss fights. For Terminus, that's got to be the hardest one we've ever seen, right? Fighting Patient 13, the giant kraken octopus creature. I still can't do it. On solo, that thing's near impossible. Not because the boss itself actually is too difficult, I don't think, in its attacks, but the amount of health it has and the amount of bullets it takes to even take a tiny bit of damage off it is insane, to the point where it's very easy to get trapped in a cycle of trying to avoid its hits, but also avoid the zombies. But then if you shoot it, you don't really take much health off it, and in turn you're losing your ammo. So then you've got to shoot the zombies to get more ammo, but you can see what I mean. It's a very grindy boss for sure. And then the Liberty Falls one is a lot easier, but because of the area it takes place in, the church, when you get to that final third stage coming up against the Abomination, it's probably best to at least make sure that you have a kill streak like the mutant injection, but that one is doable. So the main quests themselves are short, not super in depth, but still good. And then there's the third aspect to any zombies map, which is the storyline. And because of all the intel you can find on both maps, because of the intro cutscenes and ending cutscenes, along with the dedicated character conversations in Terminus, there is an interesting storyline to follow along here. So that side of it sorted as well. And the other big new system is, of course, Augments. In my opinion, a more in-depth version of the skill tree that we saw in Cold War Zombies, where you could upgrade your perks and ammo mods and stuff like that. You could do all of that in Cold War, but how it differs in BO6 is you can only choose 2 upgrades, a minor and major augment, whereas in Cold War you just unlock everything for it. I like the augment system. The one criticism I will give it is I kind of wish that it wasn't just based on XP. I wish it was based on challenges. So for example, in order to unlock this minor augment, you have to complete this challenge. In order to unlock the next major augment, you have to complete a different challenge, instead of just, you know, going in game, killing zombies, getting XP, and you unlock augments that way. Even though it's easier to understand and maybe less stressful, I think maybe if you unlock them via challenges, so to unlock a augment for Juggernog, you have to go 1 round without taking hits, or something to do with that Juggernog augment. For augments to do with speed cola, maybe have challenges to do with reloading, do a cancel reload and kill a zombie. You understand what I mean. I also will say, I wish you could research at least 2 or 3 augments at once instead of 1. But then again, maybe you'd unlock everything too quickly. So overall, I think Black Ops 6 Zombies is a good game. You could even say very good. You just have to remember that this is Call of Duty Zombies now, not look back in the past at BO3 or BO2 and the different level of character and atmosphere the mode had back then. It's clearly moved on. So if you look at this game compared to modern zombies, there is a lot of praise to give it. It's not perfect. There are still some things that could have been improved. As always, I don't think the UI is perfect. The HUD still looks pretty average. Yes, you can change things around. You can have a blank HUD, but the one thing you can't do is change the style of it. I still think it's got a very basic Warzone/MP look to the heads-up display. The gameplay can sometimes get very repetitive and grindy, but that's always been COD Zombies. And in terms of feeling, I don't think it's super far away from something like Cold War Zombies. Day 1, when I first played it, before the Easter eggs came out, there was a part of me that thought this very well could have just been Cold War DLC, and I will still say that now. If Terminus or Liberty Falls was on Cold War Zombies, no one would bat an eyelid and say, hang on, these maps are so different to Die Machine, Forsaken, Mau the Toten. I don't think many people would say, why do these maps feel so different, or why is the gameplay so different? The gameplay of BO6 Zombies and the maps feels like it could easily be Cold War DLC, besides from the augments and the upgrade system, but that's not really something you feel while you're playing. You only see that in the main menu. So depending on how you viewed Cold War Zombies, if you thought it was a good game or a bad game, that could also affect your review for BO6 Zombies. If you enjoyed Cold War, you'll probably really enjoy this. I think it's better. If you didn't like Cold War, there's still a chance you will like it, but the reason you probably didn't like Cold War is because it wasn't OG Zombies, and so, well, you're going to get that same thing with this. It wouldn't be too far to say it's an upgrade on Cold War Zombies, it's Cold War Zombies 2.0, but I also thought that game was good for what Call of Duty Zombies has become. You've just got to kind of accept that, and you will realise Black Ops 6 Zombies is a really good iteration of Black Ops Zombies. And from what I can see, the majority of people are really enjoying it. But I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section below, so leave your thoughts there. Drop a like rating if you've enjoyed. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.